I think the Russians would like to end this by the end of September. And if you're going to try and end this conflict before the end of September, you've got to cross the river. We've been lied to so much about the Russians. We don't understand the rationality behind their behavior. The last thing that Vladimir Putin wants to do is rule Ukrainians. The areas that he's got control of right now are overwhelmingly Russified or Russian. He's not interested in ruling Ukrainians. He wants the Ukrainians to rule themselves. He just wants them to be neutral and not present a threat to Russia. And that's why he's really trying to create something on the model of the Austrian State Treaty, because the Austrian State Treaty worked. He'd like to see that work in Ukraine as well. And the Europeans are the ones, along with us, that have steadfastly refused that solution, very stupidly. But he knows he's not going to get that right away. Then the other thing is his patience has paid off. Everybody that wanted him, and I was one of them, that thought, the biggest mistake you can make is not to decisively attack, launch the offensive, and end this thing. But he was smarter, and he said, no, we don't need to do that. As long as these Ukrainians will impale themselves on our defenses, let them do it. Well, that's over. Now he's moving incrementally and deliberately towards the west. He's invited as many remaining Ukrainian forces as exist that can fight to concentrate in front of his forces near Kharkov. That's happened. Ukrainians just don't have much left. So he can move decisively, but he's still saying, let's wait and see what happens with these governments. And the question is, does he move now or does he move a little later based upon the potential for some of these governments to collapse? Macron's in a lot of trouble. The French government can absolutely change dramatically, but so can the government in Berlin. And he really, really wants to watch what the Germans do. And I'm telling you, the German people are not going to fight Russia and Ukraine. They don't want anything to do with it. And there are large numbers of Germans in the electorate who are saying it's time to drop this fiction. It's time to stop listening to Washington. It's time to start acting in the interests of the German nation. And that's something that Scholz has not done.